Carl and Brendan here from Games, Brains and a Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for sure. And we checked out the brand new single, upcoming May 28th, for Aonia, the progressive operatic metal band. Acoustic version of their poignant ballad, If You Dare, which is actually the 9th track on the band's excellent debut album, The Seven. If You Dare is based on an Italian song called Vivere, which loosely translates to Dare to Live. And it's also important to note that the acoustic track marks the guitarist Stuart's recording debut with Aonia. This new single is also being presented as a double A side with bonus tracks. The full release will feature as well The Show Must Go On, a cover of Queen's famous track, If You Dare, the acoustic song, and Violet Hours live at Bloodstock 2018 as the third track. So you get 3 tracks in one: an original song, the acoustic version, the cover, and the live song. So perfect kind of single fodder. So yes, we both checked these songs out. Let's get started then with If You Dare. What did you think? Well, first off, actually, no. How well do you remember the original version on the Seven?
Oh, not very. I know the Seven quite well, but it was never a favourite track on it, to be honest with you.
Right at the end, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But what I tend to do, and I'm sure you might be the same, is that once I know that there's an acoustic version of a song, I always tend to go back and like remind myself of what the original one sounds like.
Exactly.
Either before or around the time of listening to the new version, because it's quite interesting to see how much has changed. And I guess that was quite interesting for me with If You Dare, because what I did remember about it is that it's actually quite an acoustic song on the album, The Seven. It's not like a kind of balls to the wall rager sort of thing. It's like it's got an acoustic style. So I was interested to see how the two of them sort of stacked up against each other. And yeah, no, I really like it. I think it really works well. I like the fact that it's slowed down quite a bit, isn't it? That's the real difference, especially in the early parts of the song, where it was acoustically played before. It still is, but much more calmer and slower and gentle. But it's a great song, it's a lovely song. It works well with the the acoustic treatment all the way through.
Yes.
The melody's great. The song itself is nice. Also, I like there's like a really deep tone to it. I found when I was listening to it, it's really kind of, I don't know the word for it. It's just like surrounding sort of thick, like sort of mist you can get lost in a little bit,
No, I get that. It was rumbling so much that I was like, oh, I've got my speakers too loud on this Mac. I had to turn it down, thinking it was that more than anything else, but it's actually the track. I think
the balance of it is really well as well, because one of the things I was wondering when I started when it first started off, really, or when I knew it was an acoustic version, is obviously we know, if nothing else, about Aonia, that they have 2 quite powerful front women vocally. And it was I was wondering how that was going to work out, like how easy it is to restrain that style of sort of soprano singing to bed in with a much gentler song. And I was very pleasantly surprised about how balanced it all was, like vocally and musically. I thought it really worked very well.
There you go, review done. I haven't got anything to add. No, that was perfect. No, that was great. I mean, I like the original track as well. It's not my favorite on the album either. I've got the exact same thing. You're right. I listened to the acoustic track. I went, right, go refresh my memory on the 7 version, listen to it directly afterwards as well to try and get that balance. I do, if you would ask me which one do I prefer, I actually prefer the acoustic version more than the one on the album, because I think it's solidly different. You already mentioned it's the vocals for me that blew me away in this acoustic song. They're front and center, and obviously the 2 women, the 2 ladies, they're amazing at what they do. And you're right, it's a really cool balance, because I was expecting if it was going to go off the deep end and start hitting this operatic high, so to speak, and it never really did on that front. But I really like the guitar tone as well. I guess it's what you're talking about, the depth to it as well, because it's quite somber, but there's also a certain level of uplifting and increasing in tempo as just a touch as it goes on. It never goes like metal or that kind of thing. It's an acoustic track, but I really got into that. And in the background, you've got those kind of effects going on that give it that ethereal kind of feel to it. I thought it was great. Yeah.
Very, very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's not it. We're going to talk about the other tracks as well. The next one, it's The Show Must Go On, Queen cover. First things first, do you like Queen's The Show Must Go On?
Oh, it's Queen at the end of the day, man. Like, even if I hated Queen, which I don't, but even if I did, it's unlikely that anyone who hates Queen doesn't know every single word to every bloody hit of theirs anyway.
Yeah.
When I saw the title was "The Show Must Go On," because I listened to this song without knowing it was a cover,
Right.
but assuming it was because of the title.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was also a little bit in me. I was like, oh, maybe it's an original song though. You never know, because actually the whole kind of "The Show Must Go On," that sort of showmanship thing, I felt kind of would work quite well in the Aonia camp.
Absolutely.
Sort of anyway. So I mean, within, oh man, what are you talking, like half a second of the first note being played, you instantly know it's Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, a cover of Queen. You know, I've got a lot of love nostalgically for Queen, I guess, more than anything else. A lot of love for Freddie Mercury, and I do like this song very, very much. Out of Queen's catalogue, you know, it's not like, oh god, not that one. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh no, this is cool.
Okay.
I would have been bothered if it had been like Radio Gaga or something like that. I was like, I can't cover that.
I would have been well intrigued by that. I mean, I got the same feelings about Queen as Brennan does. The Show Must Go On is far from the sort of like my favorite, or even close to my favorite Queen track. You know, it's one, you know well. I'm like, okay, that fits. The power behind The Show Must Go On will fit. But then there's the intrigue. Okay, well, you know, you hear it with Freddie Mercury's voice. You're not going to be hearing that this time with that. That's where the intrigue comes from me. Yeah. I think it's a great...
Wasn't the, I mean, I might be wrong, but wasn't The Show Must Go On part of the Highlander stuff when the Highlander album?
Right. You must, you know, I'm going to take a punt and say you might be right in this, because for some reason, now bear in mind, obviously it's not the big hit from Highlander, but when it popped in my head, I was like, I'm sure, isn't this in Highlander? Is this part of Highlander's soundtrack? But I genuinely couldn't remember. But the fact that popped in there, I was kind of, maybe we're right. Are you Googling it?
Yeah, that's why I'm...
Yeah, no, good, but no bad idea. It's obviously, you know, Who Wants to Live Forever is what you think of when you think of Highlander.
Yeah, the best Queen song ever written.
So weird. That's such weird timing, because I'm currently listening to a movie podcast review that I listen to is currently reviewing the original Highlander as well. Maybe that's
the movie.
Yeah, the original Highlander. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They haven't aged wonderfully, but they are cult classics.
Don't say they. We don't count the rest. The first film, yes.
No, the first three films. The three films. You can drop all the TV show and all that stuff.
Out of push, I'd say the second one, but you know what we.
Anyway, that's not what we're here for.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I did get quite excited about Aonia's covers, because like instantly as well, I was like, oh man, they did a banging version of Squarehammer, Ghost Squarehammer, when we saw them live at Aonia Fest in, what year was that now? 2019, 2018?
19, I think.
19, wasn't it? Yeah.
19, yeah, after Bloodstock, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. And that was quality. So, you know, it's always a lot of fun as well. And I think this is a really, really epic version of it. It's done differently. The operatic-esqueness of it is awesome. I love the guitar sound here. It's heavy and power-driven stuff for me. And the ending, you know, it's a proper, like, just like the Queen one, it's fist-pumping shit, you know?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, like, it's a ready-made kind of song that I think that suits Aonia anyway, because even the Queen original, you know, it's got that kind of keys and synth sort of edge to it, as well as the guitars and everything. So I thought it was quite cool, because while there is still the powerful vocals, they don't, obviously, because of the nature of the song, go full kind of operatic, you know, full. No, it's more rocked up vocals, and it was cool to see, you know, to see them both kind of tackling that as well.
Yeah.
It's a really, really strong cover. I agree with you. I felt like they put their touch on it, but only just enough that it was still respectful to the original. What I kind of liked about it in particular as well, I think, but this is possibly me just reading too much into stuff, but you know, with the whole current climate and the shows not going on and venues and all that, I thought it fitted quite well into this single, you know, because that message of the show must go on is, I think, was actually it might not have been those exact words, but there was something similar to that. It was actually like kind of tweeted and stuff and trending, when it
let the music play, or
which is a similar sort of thing, isn't it? So I actually think this fits really, really well with the current climate as well.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're right, man. It's I mean, and obviously If You Dare's got quite an uplifting lyrical content as well, mixed with this. You know, that's kind of very, very cool, particularly as it's coming out on May 28th, and we're kind of reaching that point now where live music properly might be a real possibility. So that's very, very cool. Yeah, absolutely. All right, the last one. I mean, we'll keep this one brief because we both know the song well. We were there at this. It's Violet Hours, played live at Bloodstock, so it's got live quality to it from the New Blood stage in at Bloodstock. It's a great song. I really like it from the album. It's one of the singles. You can check it out on YouTube and all that right now. It's a Bloodstock recording. It just takes me back to being there, you know.
Yeah, see, for me, this is like, absolutely. Firstly, that 100%. Like when I listen to it, and the beginning part of it, when they're trying to get the crowd going with the hey, like instantly there, I was like, I remember that, and I remember being in there, and I was doing that with both arms, and then my right arm got tired, so I only did it with my left arm. I remember that specifically, being like, all right, don't go down to one arm. But this for me is probably the song Violet Hours that turned me from intrigue into a fan.
Okay.
This is the song I know. I mean, I know a lot of their music, don't get me wrong, but this is the song I know the most. This is the song I put down as the song that made me an Aonia fan. So it was really cool to listen back to it. It's great to hear the quality of it, because actually, even though it's got that live recording quality, that's the good thing about it.
Yes.
So, that's what we like. The little variation in the solo that's maybe not quite the same as on the
it doesn't
studio recording.
Clean.
No, exactly. You don't want it to. It's really, really cool. Really cool. I enjoyed listening back to it. Brought back some really pleasant memories.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, if you don't know, you can pre-order this single along with a couple of packages, doing a new t-shirt for it as well. Make sure you do that. It's out on May 28th.
Awesome hip flask. Not specifically for this, but the awesome hip flask, which I had mine delivered the other day. And I think
you don't have it with you, do you?
I can grab it. It's downstairs, but now I'm out of breath.
So through the power of editing, you can now show it.
Hang on. I need to do the box up first, don't I? So we have a box.
Oh, the unboxing, of course. Very nice. Very, very nice.
A beautiful thing.
Absolutely. You can get all of that on their store, all of that and more. But make sure you check out this stuff, man. May 28th. We love this band. Can't wait for them to get us a new album out whenever that is. And of course, the return of Aonia Fest later 2022, hopefully. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?